I'm Vince, but everybody calls me Taz. I've been building custom hot rods since I was a kid. I couldn't afford to buy one, so I learned how to build them. This is my partner LeeAnn. When she's not out shopping for cars, she's racing them. Our team rescues rusty old wrecks, and we'll teach you how to restore them for just $10,000. Why are you only going to give me $10,000?
You're gonna be lucky if your wife lets you spend that much.
That's true. So if you're not afraid to pick up a wrench and get your hands dirty, we'll show you the right parts, tools, and techniques to get the job done. This is Rust Rescue. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm heading over to the hot rod shop to get some work done with LeeAnn on that 77 Trans Am project that we started. We're also going to introduce you to another project that we're doing for a friend of ours. It is a 1945 Chevy fire truck. That's going to be a blast to build. This one's going to be a little tricky because we have to fabricate 90% of the parts. It's not really a $10,000 or less build, but it's still a fun build to do. Hopefully he's going to let us use it in some of the parades that we do. All right, let's get going.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Okay, Vince and I have a really exciting new project for us to work on, but it's a little different and it's going to be a lot of work. So this is Lauren. She is a master fabricator and we're really going to need her help because this project is pretty ambitious, shall we say.
What are you getting us into?
You want to check it out?
Yeah.
Come on.
My name's Lauren Fontaine. I have a degree in welding and sheet metal fabrication. Vince called me for a special project and I have no idea what I'm getting into.
How long has that thing been sitting?
About 15 years.
Poor girl needs some love.
What do you think?
Well, this fire truck is a bit of a surprise. Normally we work on cars and we have a hard enough time finding parts for those, so I'm not sure how we're gonna get this done for $10,000. I think Vince and LeeAnn are a little nuts, but I'm interested to see how it turns out.
I'm really excited about this. With all the old stuff that we've got to do on here, a lot of the research and things that we're going to have to find out about how they did it back then, and then too with the wood on there, that gives me a chance to exercise some of my woodworking skills.
When Vince called me, I had no idea what his special project was and that I have the opportunity to work on an amazing fire truck.
All right guys, we're going to get started on this thing. This is what I want you to do. Reese and Orvis, figure out what we need to do with the wood. Let's order what we need or just try to figure out what it is, see how much wood you're going to need. You and I are going to start tearing the metal apart in this thing and see how bad it is. If you can do a favor and just get in touch with the fire department. Yeah, because we got to find out, we got to find something. We need to find people that can redo the labels on these things, all the badges. And if you can find somebody that can do gold leaf painting,
That would be great.
we'll finish it off the right way.
I'll start making some phone calls.
Let's get going, guys. Grab some tools.
All right, Orvis, what's the situation here? It kind of looks like an old deck.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sorting out, trying to decide what we're going to wind up doing with this. We're definitely going to have to replace it. Not really sure whether we'll replace it with some teak or some cedar.
Well, isn't teak a little expensive?
Yeah, it is. Got to keep LeeAnn happy, and maybe we'll go with something along the lines of cedar, but we can finish it all up and make it shiny like an old boat. But yeah, let me get these things out of here and see if I can figure out where all those wasps keep coming from.
All right, well, let's get rid of those.
Okay, yeah. Alrighty, Reese, now we got all these out. Why don't we, you stack those up and get them out of the way so we don't have to trip over them, and I'll go see what Vince is tearing up.
All right.
Where's Vince?
Hey! Hey! Hey, y'all. I found the steering box
Oh, fabulous.
and a lot of other stuff.
Alrighty. Well, let's see if we can get this thing off of here.
Yeah, let's get this out of here because I think I'm stuck. Got it. All right, I found the steering box. We got a lot of play in that wheel. Can you do me a favor? Run around, just give me like,
Let us
go
know
from
when you got
tight
it.
to tight. Let's see just how much it's moving in here.
It's not working.
Are you turning it?
Yeah, yes.
I think it's broke.
It must be broke.
Okay. All right, so this thing is just not moving. So we've either got to figure out if it's the shaft in it or it's the gears.
All right. Well, I guess we got to take it out.
Yep. I need to get some penetrating oil and spray this puppy down.
Good to go.
You were ready to go. Wait, but let me do it because I don't want to get all full of that stuff. Sorry.
We're at home. Come on.
Hey, come on. All right. Ready? All right, look what we found.
Lots of rust.
You called it. We have
of
to,
holes.
this whole corner's got to be redone.
Yep. We'll cut that whole corner out and refab it, reshape it.
I got an idea if you're game. Why don't we cut the whole firewall out and flatten it? Make it out of like a nice diamond plate.
We can definitely do that.
It's got a light. I can see. All right,
Look a little showy that way.
let's see if we can get this thing apart. I don't know if we can, but let's try.
Before you start cutting apart a car or welding, you need to have the proper safety equipment. And the good thing is you can use the same safety accessories for both. Whether you're using a plasma cutter or a welder, the same gear will protect you. We got all of our stuff from Lincoln Electric, and I love all of this gear that we have from them. The most important thing you need is a welding jacket. A welding jacket, it's long sleeves, it's thicker, so it's going to protect your arms, protect your chest, your shoulders, really any body part that you could set on fire, like Vince usually does. You also want to protect your hands and make sure you have a good set of gloves. These are a nice thick suede, so they will protect your hands and your wrists without being too thick that you can't do the work you need to do with the welder and the plasma cutter. Or alternatively, there is a smaller set of leather gloves. These actually look more like driving gloves. I think I'm going to take these out to my car and take them out onto the racetrack because I really like them. You also want to protect your face and your eyes. This is the most important thing. You do not want to have any of your hair exposed, and even you guys, if you have hair, you've got facial hair, you need to make sure that is properly covered. We've got a nice little bandana from Lincoln Electric, or they gave us some do-rags for the guys. Get your hair back. Put it underneath your welding equipment. The helmet is going to protect your eyes because both a welder and a plasma cutter put off a lot of light and you don't want to damage your vision. So use your welding helmet, keep your hair tied back. They also gave us some nice safety glasses. These aren't sufficient for welding or plasma cutting because they are not dark. They don't protect your eyes from the light, but it's always a good idea to have a good pair of safety glasses. One of the great things about this stuff from Lincoln Electric is Lincoln partnered with Jesse Combs to design a line of welding accessories for women. And it's not just that they have fun designs that we women like, but the jackets are cut to fit women. It's not just a man's jacket that's a little smaller size. This is actually a women's cut, so it's not going to be too baggy in the shoulders. And it has these nice snaps on the sleeves so that you can get those really tight because you don't want to risk getting any sparks inside to catch your arm hair on fire. And once you button it up, it also has some snaps in the back to make it nice and tight so that it fits. You can still move, but you don't have anything loose that you could risk catching on fire. Do you kind of see a theme here with the fire? You just don't want to do that. So we love all of our equipment from Lincoln Electric. And if you are new to working on cars and welding and plasma cutting, and you need all of this gear, they make full kits. It's like welding accessories in a bag for dummies. It's great. So you get this nice little bag that it all comes in. You can transport it. You can store it easily in your garage. And if you need to go over to your buddy's house and weld there, you can just take it all with you. We are so thrilled to have this stuff from Lincoln Electric. And I'm going to take this stuff over to Vince and Reese so they can get started working on the Trans Am.
The last time you saw our Trans Am, it looked a little bit more like a car. It had several car-like features, such as a front bumper and doors, a trunk. Well, now we are further into our disassembly process. The next thing we're going to work on is our floor pans.
Before you cut the floor pans out, you have to brace the car. If you remember from the last episode, the floor pan is what holds your front clip in. But before we do that, we have to get the windshields out. If you try to take the floor pans out without bracing it and without having the windshield out, the windshield is going to shatter. We're probably going to break this windshield anyway because windshields basically become thinner on top and fatter on the bottom as time goes on. So they're just going to be thinner to start with. But what I usually tell people is make sure you got a replacement windshield before you take it out, because if you break it and there's no replacement, you're pretty much in trouble. So first thing we'll do is let's get the windshield out of this car, let's get a few braces across it, and then let's get these floor pans cut out. All right, what I got you doing is getting all this old, somebody had actually caulked this thing in with some, looks like black silicone. So it's gonna be a little tricky getting out. We need to get a starting point for it to be able to get the piano wire in. Now this is one technique.
What are we doing with the piano wire?
Well, the reason I made a hole through it is you put the piano wire through, you go inside, I go outside, and we go across the entire windshield, and it cuts it off. It's almost like cutting cheese. So if anybody tells you you came into work and cut the cheese today.
I don't think that most people make that reference with cut the cheese.
All right. This is a great little toolkit. I bought it on Amazon. I think it was 22 bucks. Has everything you need to take windshield out.
Now, where'd you get the piano wire?
It came with it.
Oh.
All right. You grab that side. Let's go up first.
We can floss it?
Yep, pretty much. Okay, we got the windshield out of the car without breaking it, which is amazing on itself. Now we're going to go get the metal we need to brace the body and start cutting these floor pans out. What I need you to do, get all this black gooey stuff out, or as much as you can, and then just go inside the cab and get it ready for us to do all the cutting, get all the wires and anything that's loose. If it's still attached, just push it out of the way. We're going to do one side at a time.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Thank you. Okay, guys. As you see, we got the rear windshield out. We've come up with a little bit of a problem. The rear filler panel is completely rotted away. It was underneath all the goo that was on the windshield. As you see the little thing on my head, I'm going to be able to show you a little bit of a close-up of what we see when we look at things. As you can see, it is completely gone. All here, all this, it's just like paper mache, basically. We've got to completely replace this piece. Hopefully we can find it. I'm pretty sure we should be able to find this with one of our dealers. Once we pull this out, we're going to actually change not just the filler panel, but we're also going to change the speaker tray. This way we have no rust at all in this thing. Okay, let's get started.
When it's time to cut out the floor pans on your rusty old car, you can use several different tools. You could use a cutting tool, you could use an air saw, but quite frankly, we're not that patient. We prefer to use a plasma cutter. Mostly we like to cut things with fire, but it goes so much faster, and we love our plasma cutter from Lincoln Electric. This is the Tomahawk 375 air plasma cutter. And you might think, oh, plasma cutter is really too expensive for a DIYer. It's really not. You're going to be doing a lot of cutting, and it's well worth the investment, and this model is very affordable. The thing we like most about it, it has its own internal air compressor. Plasma cutters require compressed air to work. And you may not have a high-powered air compressor in your garage. This one has it built in, so it's an all-in-one machine. But if you do have an external air compressor, you can still hook it up to that. It can work both ways. The other thing I like about it is that it's small and it's portable. Granted, it's a little bit heavy, but it will store easily in your garage. It's not going to take up a lot of space. And if your buddy does con you into coming over and helping him with a project, you can bring it with you. The Lincoln Tomahawk 375 does require 220 power, so you need to make sure that you have that in your garage or wherever you are working. But don't let this small size fool you. This baby really packs a punch. It's very powerful and it's very precise, so we love it.
Well, that sounds great, LeeAnn. Can we go ahead and get started to work on the Trans Am with it?
I thought I was going to get to use this.
Okay, fight me for it.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Deal.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Dang it! All right, I get to use it next time.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Next time.
Don't forget your safety gear.
Let me just take this whole thing with me.
All right. I wanted to use it.
Now that we got the windshields cut out of this car, we're going to tackle the floor pans. We don't have to brace the car like we thought for the simple reason that we found beams underneath the car and they're all intact. If we kind of cut these beams, or if we cut the beams by mistake, that's when there's a problem. What we're going to do is cut around the beams, take out the floor pans, sand the beams down, give them a little coat of primer, and put the new floor pans in. Ready to do this?
All right, what can I do?
Okay, I'm going to have you take the drill, and you're going to drill a hole on the side of each of these beams, probably 3, one in the front, one in the back, one in the center. Do it on each side of the beam.
A little guide hole?
A little guide hole. Then we're going to make a line, and this way, if you cut it around that line, you'll cut the beam, and then we have a big issue. But if you don't, we're good.
Okay, no pressure
Nope.
for the intern.
You'll be good.
All right. Go poke holes in this thing.
Go poke holes. Go ahead.
Houston! I mean, Vince! Yeah? I broke the bit.
See the way you got a hole here and a hole here? If you do this, there's your beam, right? But because you got 2 holes already, you can go all the way down and all the way back.
That's the
and
cut
there's your beam.
guide.
So
Okay.
you don't do this. Okay, now that Reese's got the floor pans all marked up, we're going to cut them out with our Lincoln plasma cutter. The one thing we want you to do with this is make sure you got your eyes covered with either dark glasses or preferably a welding helmet works really well. Second thing is it's very, very hot. So be careful not to have anything underneath it that can catch fire or have yourself underneath it where you can catch fire, which I do a lot. All right, let's give this thing a shot and see how she goes. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself a pair of either welding gloves or a pair of heavy gloves. This way you don't burn your hands. All right.
Oh,
Then you
second
need
thing
to
you
hook
should
up-
have Vince
What's
too
that?
as a buddy that makes sure you don't catch on fire.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, I tell you. Right, we're going to hook our ground wire up. And let's see how this thing's going to cut. Hey, Reese, come on over. Grab your helmet. You got gloves?
Got my gloves, got
All
my
right.
helmet.
Okay. I got a place cut out, well, not cut out, actually marked out for you. Just stay in the lines. It's like coloring in the lines.
Okay, this is
Okay.
advanced coloring in
Color,
lines.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to just get out of your way so I don't catch fire.
So excited.
Again.
Okay. I'm gonna squeeze the thing.
Yep, just there's a trigger there. Lift the trigger up. Put your finger underneath it. There you go. And lay it right on the metal. Okay, this is what it's going to look like when we're done. This is kind of what we're after. If you notice, you've still got some shards of metal attached. These are the original welds. We're going to grind those down, just get it as clean as possible, get all the rust off of it, get any rot. If you can see, there's a little bit of rot here, not enough to warrant cutting these out. Again, if you're going to cut them out, we have to brace the car. All right, let's get some sanders, let's get a couple of grinders, and let's get this thing ready to be welded in.
All right, next step. Let's go.
Anytime.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Action.
One of the first things you want to do is find a car that's within your means to repair. You don't want to get a car that's too rusted. The one thing you want to do is make sure you find a car that's within your expertise of repairing. You don't want to get one that's too rusted out, too rotted out, because unless you know how to do a lot of model work, and action.
Another thing to consider when you're shopping for a project car is the availability of parts. Take this Chevy Chevelle. The Chevelle ran from 66 to 77. No, it didn't. Let me check. Another thing to consider when you're shopping for a parts car is a parts car. Okay. Action.
Where's Vince?
Hey!
Hey, where are you?
Here! I think I'm stuck.
Gee.
Do it again. It locked itself on.
Camera 1 rolling. Camera 2's rolling. And action.
All right, so let's figure out what we need to do. We need to like lube this thing up. Got the Astroglide?
Yeah, we're here. Handy dandy right here.
Do it again.
Most of the cost of a restoration. All right, we had to have one blooper. Most of the cost of a restoration is the labor cost. So if you are willing to, now I forgot totally what I was going to say. Right. And action.
And one of the last things you want to make sure you do is find a car that's running. It's a lot easier to run a car. No, you have to.